Elaine, what was it like interacting with the characters of Diana Lee Aino Santos, Morgan Elsbeth, and Lars Mikkelsen's Thrawn? Because Gran Admiral Thrawn is a character who has an imposing presence. Did you feel that way on set?
I couldn't wait to get on set and work with those actors. Lars Mikkelsen and all the other actors who were playing these very strongly conceptualized characters that had already had tremendous placement within the AHSOKA universe, but the whole universe, the whole Star Wars universe, and to see how they inhabited and brought their energy, their talent, their their kind of their soul, their warmth. When I mean their warmth, I mean their body inhabiting. When you're playing opposite on set, and I've been reading in scripts, for weeks and weeks, thinking, oh, I can't wait to see what they're going to say, how they're going to say that. I can't wait to actually be there and feel the energy of what they're channeling. It all just sort of fell into place, and it really resonated. And our directors and the whole sort of production bubble, whilst they had very strong ideas about where we to go and stand, and within that parameter, you must, I mean, the directors and the director of photography and those in the immediate production crew, they need to have a very strong concept of where we're going to come from, where we're going to go to, and it's very technical, enormously technical. And you have to avail yourself to that. You have to be open and receptive and responsive to that. But within that performance bubble, it was really made total sense when Morgan and Thrawn and the other characters came on and pushed and pulled, and then the Night Sisters came into that, and it all started to make total sense. And I just found it helped me to elevate my performance and to make my performance spontaneous and fresh. Because you have to learn your lines. That's a basic tenet, and you're expected to. You've got to know your lines. But by the same token, you want them to be fresh and spontaneous and to be reactionary of the rest of the characters and actors that you're working off. And I found that, and my fellow Night Sisters, of course, I found the working environment when we were actually, doing a take. So again, it was quite thrilling, because you suddenly see Thrawn and you get the gravitas of that character that Lars embodies beautifully. And the costume and the blue and the head. It's such a thrill to have that, because you feed off that, you see. And it suddenly dawned on me when we were rehearsing that Thrawn is seeking the support and the collaboration of the Night Sisters, our magic and our age-old knowledge of black magic and how to wield our energies in support of what he wanted. We wanted stuff too. We wanted something, and he wanted something. So it became very helpful to understand that the both of us, us three sisters, the Night Sisters, the witches, if we want to talk in a mythological temporal world, we're three witches, very powerful, very our powers have ascended to a psychic, where we're able to communicate with each other without speaking, but we do speak as well. So we operate on numerous magical levels. So does Thrawn. And when we actually saw and had Lars as Thrawn and Morgan Elspeth and the other characters come on, it all made sense. And the gravitas and the seriousness of the situation, the environment that was created by when all the characters came together, it just made so much sense about the power of Thrawn, for instance. It's a real power within the framework of the Star Wars universe and within the AHSOKA chapter. Thrawn's power is very real, and he's a very, dangerous, dedicated power, incredibly intelligent, and certainly for me as a Night Sister, a lot of the choices that I'd had already made suddenly made sense. I thought to myself when we were starting our first sort of rehearsal together with Thrawn and with Morgan and with Thrawn's second in command and the whole framework that suddenly started to come on around us on the amazing sets, the incredible with incredible technology, yes, which you might think that is so overwhelming. And yes, for a moment it is, but it makes total sense when you're there and you're in it. You go, oh, of course it's going to be this big. Of course it's going to be this massive. It's a planet, for God's sake. It's a starship. It's a battle cruiser, those sorts of things. And the environment that was created by the amazing production team. Oh, I just thought, oh my God, you better just be so good. You better bring all your guns blazing, because these people have created the most amazing world, the most incredible situation for my character, and not just mine, but everybody else, for my character to inhabit and to exist in. And so that was incredibly motivating. And also, again, I keep using this word, quite thrilling, to be on this incredible set. It just, we would be doing our scene, and everyone would be doing their thing, and then we'd cut, let's reposition, and we need to, the technicals would then take over, and we might be standing around waiting for everything to be adjusted so we could go again. But honestly, I just sort of thought to myself, I was looking around the whole time at all this amazing structure, and I'm thinking, my God, how big that is. Oh my God, and then suddenly we're like, okay, let's reposition, first position, let's go, we'll go again. So I was sort of felt like which isn't a bad thing at all. I just felt like a kid. I felt like, my 13-year-old kid. When I first got my first job, I was 13. And I mean, what did I know? I was 13. I was just a kid with all this energy. I got this job at home back in Australia, 147 years ago. But I was just like, oh my God, I got a job, oh my God. And I felt like that 13-year-old kid. And then we'd go and do a thing. And I'm this, this worldly wise old actor, creating this incredible character with my sisters and with these other incredible characters in this universe, that in that moment when the director calls action and cut is a real world. That's the world we live in. This is the world I live in when I'm in that between action and cut. It's a real world. And the production and the directors, the producers, and the other actors, we're all in collaboration in our own ways, making that come true. And then when it's done, and we move on to the next creation, the next part of that world. But certainly everyone was just vibing and working to their best levels. And it was thrilling to be a part of that. And then to create a character, it was just so in my wheelhouse, Joaquin. And it's still very thrilling. And also, I might add too, it is an environment where you can bring your best and A game. And you want to bring authenticity to that. You want to bring, within the context of the playing, a reality, a life. And in amongst all the mind-blowing technology, the concepts, the creativity, and the responsibility of the producers and the directors, which they take very seriously, and they are so brilliant at it. You want to be a part of that. You want to bring the best that you possibly can bring all the time. And that's very satisfying to be a part of that. And, they want you to do that too. They want you to step into that. So in a sense, personally, I love being leveled up like that. It's kind of, as an actor, especially an older actor and a woman aging, etc., all those sorts of things. And we know that that's real life. Those are the sorts of work situations that I want to be a part of. That you want to raise your own bar. You want to bring your A game, A++, and certainly an environment, a work environment was created where we were all very much wanting to do that. And that's wonderful, because it doesn't always happen, So when it does, it's like, oh, wow, let's go.
Have you been able to meet Dave Filoni and George Lucas in person?
Oh, yes. Not George Lucas, but Dave Filoni, yes. And Dave is very handsome. He is so invested and imbued. I myself, I call him the Professor Emeritus of the Star Wars universe. I mean, he is so knowledgeable, so he's it's almost this sort of the vastness of his knowledge and his ability and his energy to want to impart that is so amazing for someone in such a important position in that production zeitgeist, if you like. If I might share just my own personal experience with Dave, in the formative days of receiving scripts, and there was always lots of edits. He was very fastidious about getting it very right. And that's not unusual. There were a number of times when I just thought, I just don't know. I need to speak to somebody. I need to ask. I've got 5 questions and I can't research it. I can't find it out. It's so specific and it's so dynamically specific to this situation. And when I get like that, I need, as an actor, I have those sorts of preparation needs. I need to speak to my director. I need to speak to other actors. But I thought, okay, I'm sure Dave Filoni is incredibly busy with 1,000 things that he has to do and is doing and does. I thought, all right, I will contact the script editor, and they all work very closely together. They're a very close-knit, very integrated unit in that inner core, that inner sanctum of scripting and storytelling and synopsizing and character development. I thought, oh, I'll send it an email and I'll just say, look, it's Jane Edwina Seymour here. I'm playing Lakesis, and I hope you don't mind. I know Dave is very busy, but I would just at any time might have a moment just to, you could pass it on to him, or just I would then outline, what I needed to know, or not sort of expecting anything in return, because it's, working at that level and in that magnitude of a show, a new series in this very prominent universe that's, got so much provenance and history, huge, massive fans, lots of different universes, lots of different things. And I thought, okay, I'll just put it out there. And if I don't get anything back, don't worry. You'll get an opportunity later on down the line, maybe when you're on set or on studio. I might have a couple of minutes to ask those questions at that time. So I didn't, I wasn't obsessed with an answer back, because I knew how busy it would be. And I'm not the only actor on the show. So I'm not, my stuff isn't the only stuff going on in that universe. And it's a brand new series, so there's a lot at stake. Well, a couple of days later, I got a reply, and it was from Dave, and he had itemized and in red had confirmed or disclaimed or agreed or extrapolated or worked on it. I just was, and there are 4 times I did that when I just couldn't work things out myself. I reached out, and each time Dave Filoni got back to me on the email with answers. And that should tell you something about that, the way that man works and how he treats you with the numerous hats and caps that he wears as the creative engine, producer, director, writer, instigator, leader, professor emeritus. I just was so, I can't tell you what that meant to me as an actor who has reached out and done that sort of thing. Sometimes that you don't get an answer back. You might have, or you do, or they say, look, well, we can't attend to that right now. We're really busy, and let's follow that up when we're on set, or 1,000 different other ways of approaching that. And I hear ringing in my voice one of my early acting teachers saying, it doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. And they can always say no. We'll talk about that later. And I'm so glad I did, because it gave me an idea of who it is that I was going to work for.
Yeah.
And also to see how hands-on that Dave was and is, and also the way he listens when you're standing on set and people are wanting to solve various issues, a lighting issue, a photography issue, an acting issue, an entry issue, a thousand things that crop up, that micro things but mean everything, and they need to be solved then and there, and they are often. And to see the way someone of Dave's rank and level in the business, the way he listens to when his team are talking to him about this, that, or the other, 1,000 different things, Joaquin, you can't imagine, but I'm sure you can. But you see how he responds to them. I thought to myself, it's no wonder he did get back to me, because that's what he does. He doesn't say, oh, I haven't got time for that, or I haven't got. No, he just looks at the person, they listen, talks, works it out, let's do this, let's do it. And I got to understand that that's just the sort of creative artist that I was working for. And also someone of tremendous intelligence. Oh, my goodness, so intelligent. And I still, I've not really ever sort of told anyone that, because it's not really ever come up. So I can talk personally about what sort of a director he is, because I had that. With all the things that he was doing, here is this actor that he's only probably ever seen, he only had ever known my audition tapes. And, something I did in those auditions, they all, he sort of looked at the casting and just said, well, is it? That's Lakesis. And I got the job. But he didn't know me. He knew people like Lars and other actors, and of course Rosario. But he didn't know me. I was just Jane Edwina Seymour, reaching out, asking all these questions about the script. But he got back to me with all that he had to do at that point in time. Hadn't met me. I was just doing the homework. These questions just came out of homework. So that should tell you, from my own personal experience, that should tell you everything about what sort of director he is. Never mind about producer, creative artist, writer, leader of the pack. So I thank you for asking and giving me a context in which to let you and others know what sort of a director he is. is a very good director. Very good directors do that.
Well, did you have the chance to interact with AHSOKA herself, Rosario Dawson?
Unfortunately, no. We didn't have the Night Sisters, the three of us, we didn't have a chance. It wasn't scripted. The scenarios weren't created for that to happen. Would that have been wonderful? I think so. Because she's a very dedicated, very serious actress. I think she nailed AHSOKA. The work and the prep and the dedication, everything. Mrs. 147% commitment. And at 5 a.m. in the morning in the makeup and hair, in those transformation caravans and the magic, that's where the real magic takes place, fucking the hair and makeup. Oh my gosh. They're the real magic weavers. But at 5 a.m. in the morning, you know, that's where everyone is very real. You're very yourself at that time. You're about to sort of get your whole self transformed. And of course, doubly so for Rosario. She would come in and it was, hello, Jane, and, and with my fellow workers, and same with Lars. Everyone was very, there was a tremendous sense of camaraderie coming from Rosario, whether you worked with her directly in a scene or not. And she definitely carries the notion of lead role beautifully, because she's a very real person, lovely, dedicated, serious, and just looks amazing as AHSOKA, by the way. I mean, let's face it, she just looks amazing as AHSOKA. And also the work that went into, the physicality, the fights, the whole preparation for those actors who were doing fight sequences and working with weaponry, etc., and lightsabers, all those protocols, they all were, prepping and going to, combat classes and preparation, and they all put the work in, and doubly so AHSOKA herself.
Yeah. Jane, final question. I know you probably can't say anything about the future, but we are getting a second season of AHSOKA, and Thrawn's story with the Great Mothers isn't over yet. So in the season 1 finale, we can see them arriving on Dathomir, the planet of the Night Sisters. Would you like to return as Lakesis and explore much more of your character?
First of all, I have absolutely no idea what the future holds, or whether Lakesis would be written back in. I am not privy to any of that. So that's reality. And, I'm on to my next things. So let's now put that into the wish list, the wish basket.
Amazing.
Yes,
Amazing.
I would love to come back as Lakesis and explore perhaps her, which is only in my own mind, because I do that as an actor with everything I do. I research, and I'm fastidious about preparation and backstory and those sorts of things, which doesn't necessarily, nobody else needs to know, but I do, because I'm the one doing it. And when I ground myself like that, I'm capable of anything and everything. And so is the character. and that's the energy I want to bring. But I'd love to explore Lakesis's, the genesis of Lakesis, coming from, in my own backstory, her as a young warrior defending the Night Sisters and defending the magic and defending, you know, is she still that way inclined? Is she still capable of suddenly, you know, from behind her magnificent costume, pulling out a, you know, those sorts of things. But of course, Joaquin, that's just the whisk basket. And that only exists in my own mind. But yes, it would be an enormous privilege to come to be brought back if they do anything more with the series, of course.
Fantastic, fantastic, Jane. Jane, that's all. Thank you very much
Okay.
for your time and for your kindness. It was a pleasure meeting you and to
And same. It was so wonderful. I can't believe it that anybody in the fabulous Argentina, let alone Buenos Aires, would want to speak to me about my work on such a wonderful show. So today I got incredibly lucky, and I'm most grateful and delighted to be able to speak with you and in turn share with the fans in Argentina, Star Wars fans, your audience, Joaquin, some of my work and some of my journey on Star Wars AHSOKA Series 1 as Lakesis.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind words. Really, I appreciate it. Well, greetings from Argentina. The best to you,
Beautiful.
and may the force be with you.
And with you. Mwah.
Thank you so much. Bye, Jane. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Great mothers, I salute you.